So focusing the xTooL F1 Ultra is what we're going to talk about today. And I'm doing this because when I searched it, I got a whole bunch of stuff, but I did not get direct information on how to focus it. And I got a simple mind, so I just typed in, how do I focus the xTooL F1 Ultra? And I got squat. So I'm going to try to do this so everybody can understand it. So you start with calibration during the setup process. And I'll put a link to a setup video in the description. You can go check it out if you like. And the object of the calibration is to pull the diode side and the fiber side of this laser together. I'm going to pull these dots apart. There's two dots right here, one blue and one red. I hope it shows up good. And the blue is the diode, red is the IR fiber. So calibration brings those two together. I'm going to put them back together. Here's the control pad I'm using. And you also use this in conjunction with xTooL Studio, which used to be xTooL Creative Space, but it's been upgraded to xTooL Studio. They can both run together. But the only one that'll be updated in the future by xTooL will be xTooL Studio. So, the laser has an autofocus, and the lens will check the material, and it will do an autofocus. But for that to take place, you first have to put your material on the bed, and then open xTooL Studio, select the material, and get everything set up in there, and then it'll do an autofocus. Well, what we're going to do is show a manual focus for when you set something in there that you want to adjust yourself. So we're going to put this bamboo board in there, and you can see that those lasers come apart. So we've got that in there. I'm going to use the control pad to pull those dots back together. And now it is back at the calibrated state that we done during setup. So what we can do now is jump into xTooL Studio, pull in a graphic, select the material for bamboo and whatever this thickness is that I didn't check before I laid it up here, and see if it makes some finite adjustments that perhaps my bad eyes didn't see. So let's hop into xTooL Studio, set something up, and we'll write something on here. Okay, so we're in xTooL Studio. And since I know much more about Lightburn than I do xTooL Studio, I went and grabbed an SVG out of Lightburn. And I'm going to go here and import it. We're just going to pull in this snowflake. And we're going to see if this does the autofocus like I said it would. Like I said, I don't know much about xTooL Studio, but I am a solid C- student, and I will figure it out. All right, so we got our snowflake pulled in. We're going to select the surface in the top right. This is what pops up. We're going to process on a flat surface. We have unknown material. Here's a bamboo cutting board. It doesn't say anything about thickness, but I guess it really doesn't care since we recalibrated. It's warning me that it's flammable. And you can see all this, but I just got a habit of talking to myself. So now we'll go here and do an auto measure. And it's doing that. And you see up top, focusing has been successful. That's a good thing. And I believe this button here will refresh the background and show us the board. Now, I know the way that board's positioned, it's not going in the center, but all we want is to put this snowflake on here. Now, I did find out recently that xTooL Studio has the crosshairs for lining your stuff up. So even though that's not the center, we've got one line. If we got closer to the center, it would give us both lines. We'll just put it there. You don't have to push Alt like you do in Lightburn. Matter of fact, I'm going to push this board back and do part of this over again and get the board more centered. I'm learning, folks. Y'all bear with me. All right, the board is more centered. So what we're going to do is try to do this auto measure again and see if that will recenter it. Okay, focus has been successful. And it did move it up some. We'll refresh that background one more time. We'll select our graphic and move it up. I want to see both of them crosshairs. And I guess that's it. Oh no, there it is right there. All right, now we got full crosshairs. I feel better. So, I am going to go with, now it will let me select blue light or fiber, but we don't need fiber for this. We need blue light for the diode since it's wood or bamboo. So that's good. Now if I select wrong, it should adjust. So if I had a piece of metal in there and it knew it needed fiber, it's not going to let me select blue light or diode. At least that's the way I understand it at this point. So we are going to go with, well, they're recommended 70% power, 150 millimeters per second, one pass, and I'm not seeing, it's supposed to show lines per inch somewhere, but it's not. Let's do a preview. I know I'm rambling, folks, but I'm figuring this out, and I hope it's helpful. I don't really know what that done for us, but okay. I guess it has a good use, but so we're just going to click process and see what happens. Let me get this other camera turned back on so you don't miss none of the action. It's on. So when you click process, if you hadn't seen any of the other videos, you click process here, then you have to click the big green button on the bottom of the control pad. So let's do that. And we're clicking start. So you have to click process and then start. Safety reminder, don't walk away, that kind of stuff. It's ready for me to push the button, and I am pushing the button. I was hoping the process would say how long it's going to take, but I didn't see that. You can see on the screen that took 5 seconds. So let's see what we got out of it. I'm going to click finish here, and we will take a look at the other camera. Okay, so here is what a 5-second burn gets us on the F1 Ultra. I'm starting to like this laser. Of course, we could get it darker, fill it in, things like that, as soon as I figure out how to do it. But I hope this was helpful to somebody. I'm kind of simple, so if I need to know how to do something, I will type in, how do I do this thing? And if I don't get a good answer, then I start figuring it out because it bugs me until I do. So if anybody has any more information on focusing, please share it. If you got questions or you got topic suggestions, drop them down in the comments. I appreciate it. And I appreciate you folks taking time to watch. It all helps the channel grow. Keeps me out in the shop where I love to be. So just check back often for new videos. You folks take care. And we'll see y'all next time. Thank you.